Welcome to 90 Day Fiance
Three-way. Replay.
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 We're a two-way this week.
I'll have to change our name again.
No, we're not doing that. We're just telling everybody we're two-way this week. Our Dylan is off vacationing somewhere.
He'll be back next week.
Yeah. So who do you want to start with?
All right, let's start off with a heavy hitter. I feel like they really focus on only just like a few couples. One of them is Alina and Steven.
Mm-hmm.
We pick up where they dropped us off last episode, where Steven tells Alina that he has had sex with other women and made out with a lot. She asked like how many, and he's like he kissed it like hundreds. Is that what he said?
Yeah. I was so surprised. I was like, how did he kiss hundreds of girls?
Me too. Like hundreds? Like that's what? But then he only had like the full on intercourse with only 5 or so.
He says.
He says. And the last time that he was intimate with somebody was back in October when they were actually still together. And Alina says that she's scared she made the worst decision ever.
Yeah.
Because she feels manipulated by him.
Well, she hasn't made the decision yet. It's, she still has time. And I think this is really telling, right? The thing that pisses me off the most is that it's so hypocritical. So hypocritical. If you want to be a hoe, go ahead, be a hoe. It's fine. But don't like be a hoe and then try to get other people to not be hoes for your own benefit. You know what I mean?
Right. It's kind of like that. It was really odd. Like, what do you call that? Like, you want to be one person. It's like he wanted to have his cake and eat it too. Like
Yeah.
he's like, oh yes, in my one life where I'm married, oh yes, we're very chaste. We've only ever had sex with each other. We follow all the Mormon laws. But in my other life, I'd be like going crazy. I'd be having sex with everybody. I'd be making out with everyone. But my wife must stay pure. She must follow all the Mormon laws. And, but not me, I'm going to go out there and do what I got to do,
Exactly. That's what he was doing, like all that stuff while he was still with Alina. And his excuse was like, that's just how I talk. Like I talk like the future and like we're going to get married and be together forever. Meanwhile, he's out here kissing hundreds of girls. How does he get to kiss hundreds of girls? Is it like, there's like a cesspool over there in wherever there, Utah?
I don't know. Like I know like a few guys who feel like, they can't get anybody, they can't meet anyone, they can't do stuff, they're not good enough. But maybe all you need is confidence. Maybe that's what Steven has. He has nerve, and he has confidence, I think.
Well, I think it's not confidence, but it's like kind of aloof. Like he kind of doesn't care what people think. Like he likes to do those weird things. Like he doesn't care about being weird. So maybe that's it. I guess that's confidence too, but I think in a way it's also like he just doesn't care about other people, like what they think. And that one makes him bold,
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. I mean, that's what I hate. Like when he met up with Alina, he's like, oh, we can't be in the same room because we might commit sin. And come on our first day, like the first few hours that we even have together, let me pull out the Mormon Bible and let us read it. Let us read the Mormon Bible. And there you go. You think that he's like that he follows strictly the Mormon law, but he totally doesn't. And then he even had the nerve to question her and say, oh, I think you don't feel sure about whether you want to convert. Remember that one time, like when she wanted him to stay? I was like, oh my God.
Which is so dumb because he's the one who's on the fence about getting married, but he wants her to be sure about converting to the Mormon faith. You know what I mean? Like I get if you want to change, like you want to turn over a new leaf. The problem is that there was overlap. You know what I mean? Like if you were a hoe before and then you stopped being a hoe and then you wanted to be, a chaste person, whatever, then like you shouldn't have been doing all that stuff while you were talking to Alina. That's purely like exactly what you said. Like he wants to have his cake and eat it too. You know what I mean?
I don't think he really wants to change. I think he just wants this one life with Alina, pretend that he's that one guy with Alina and that she is really following all the laws, and then like go off and, do his thing.
Do you think he's gonna like do his thing on the side?
Oh man, I wouldn't put it past him now, to be honest.
That's true. And then, but I think, yeah, he would also have like excuses for it. Like, when I said Jesus had female friends and stuff like that.
Oh God. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
So Alina goes to the airport to pick up her mom and they're still arguing. So she goes by herself and she tells her mom that um she learned a thing about him that she didn't know. And the mom is like, "Oh, well, I warned you about this. I think you should just go back home and forget about him." They make it to the Airbnb or whatever, and he's very gracious to the mom. He offers her chocolates, and he basically says by him speaking Russian, that's how he's going to ingratiate himself to her mom. And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know about that." But yeah, they eat it, they chit chat. The mom is very suspicious of him, says his behavior is really odd. She doesn't think he's serious. He, though, asked for the blessing to marry her, Alina, and the mom says, no, time will tell. And then they go in the room together, and Alina's like, hey, what do you think? And she's like, well, your prospects don't look good. That's the end of their scene.
Agreed. She's all of us. The mom is all of us.
The mom is
Yeah.
very astute. She's not messing around.
Yeah. I think, especially since Alina is so young, you can see her youth. So it's like she, of course, she's gonna be really protective. And Steven is weird and acting weird just because he speaks Russian. Like, I mean, I guess that can get you someplace, but like not very far, especially like if when it comes to marrying somebody. At the end of the day, who really cares about that?
Right, right. What do you think the mom meant when she's like, your prospects don't look good? As in, like, your prospects don't look good that he's going to marry you, or like, if you marry him, your life is going to suck, or
I think she meant if you marry him, your life is gonna suck.
that's how I feel. That's what I took it as. Like,
Yeah.
why do you want to marry this dude, Alina? Come on, you're smart, you're pretty, you have a lot of things going for you.
Hmm.
Why are you going to be with this guy who has already proven to be able to lie to you? Um, He's not even sure he wants to marry you. He
But he wants you to
He
convert.
cheated on you. He wants you to convert. Forget that guy. And he's weird.
Yeah. That's the official list right there. Alina, I mean, if I don't know, I guess love blinds you, but she is young and smart. Hopefully, she'll wise up.
I hope so. When they were in the cab and then Alina was telling her mom, like, oh, I was just, I'm just hoping that he'll do better and that he'll change. I was like, that's not the way you enter into a marriage. Like that's how you get into big trouble. Like thinking like entering into the marriage or some really committed relationship thinking, "Oh, he'll change. He'll do better." I don't know
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. I mean, he already is off to a bad start because he lied so much. Like the behavior is one thing, but lying about it, not telling her about it, especially like until you're trapped there in Turkey, like it's all red flags.
And you know what? He didn't even try to cry. Come on, shed a tear, Steven. He was just very very serious and I mean not very serious but just straightforward I would say like yes I cheated on you that was because I wasn't serious but now I am. I love you. You are my sun and moon and stars and I want to marry you.
Mhm.
I don't know, it just didn't seem like someone who's truly remorseful and is trying to change the love of his life's mind.
Yeah, he seems. Yeah, I don't know. He did make those changes for like living with together and stuff like that. But those are all changes that are kind of easy to make for him. Like he hasn't really sacrificed anything except for his supposed Mormon ideals. But like we've seen from his behavior, he doesn't even really care about them because of all his, like the stuff he's been doing, right? So it really doesn't really mean that much when he like says, "Oh, I'll be willing to live within the same apartment as you, but then I also made out with 100 girls." So I don't feel like it doesn't really matter, you know?
But he did also agree to delete his social media.
Well, that's true.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not going to solve, but you know, let's see what happens.
yeah.
I don't have faith in him, but you know, whatever. Hundreds
Me
of
too.
girls, hundred. I don't know. That's incredible. That should give hope to all mankind.
If Steven could get some, you could get some.
Yes. I mean, you know, no offense to Steven or anything, but I'm just saying he's not. I mean, we can honestly say that he's not somebody that you would think has kissed hundreds of girls. So,
Yeah,
you know, he gives hope to those like him.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. You want to do like a light snack? Let's do Kenny and
Yeah.
Armando.
Oh, those two. They have no storyline because everything's just perfect for them.
That's true. Everything worked out for them this time. That's true. Everything they go up against, it works out for them. They use their gay powers and it works out for some reason.
Their beautiful gay love makes everything happen.
So basically, they go and get a marriage license and they're like super nervous or whatever. And they do a flashback of like why they got denied in the first place. And it's basically, they said, "You've been denied this marriage license in Mexico because you want to save the human race." And then you see Kenny rolling his eyes. And, you know, like that is messed up. Like that sucks. And then fast forward to the present. Um, they asked the guy and they have all their paperwork ready. They have this like paperwork they need to get from like the human rights something organization to say like they should be able to get married and that's what they need in order to push this process forward. And then they found out from the teller that they actually don't need it. That from the state down from above, like all marriages are recognized and all people deserve to get a marriage license. And they're like, "Oh, yay, hug and
Yeah.
kisses, blah, blah, blah." And then the teller says, like, he doesn't think that, like, he doesn't know if Kelly or Kenny and Armando's request was like the deciding
I got that.
factor.
I thought
But
you
he
said
did
got to.
say the requests and requests like theirs have led to this change. I'm like, wow. Well, because when first Armando first said like this fight, I was like, really, what did you do for this fight except get rejected? But then apparently the requesting from the human rights organization like was enough to like make this change happen. So I guess they were part of the fight. You know, that's good.
I suppose so. Yes. I thought that was so funny when that guy said that. I was like, really? So Kenny and Armando are the ones that changed the whole Mexico into accepting gay marriage for real.
We're looking forward to the documentary they'll make about Kenny and Armando.
Exactly.
Well, I guess we're watching it right now.
Of the fight
The
that their
fight.
struggles.
Well, it was a struggle, but they didn't show any like campaigning or anything that they might have done.
Exactly. Or like protesting. Like what was their struggle? They had to write another letter to human resource, or I don't know. What did they
Yeah.
say? Some kind of human rights organization, whatever,
Yeah.
to get approved. All right. Okay.
I mean, that is something, but I don't know about like changing the whole state of Mexico.
That's what the guy made it seem. That's how I was like cracking up. I caught that line too. It's like, I can't say for sure that it was Kenny and Armando who changed it, but it is people like him requesting a marriage to happen.
Yeah. And then basically it's the next on, it's where Armando is talking about having a kid with Kenny. And Kenny's resisting, as he should.
Well, he said he would much rather like adopt or help another kid than to make a whole like to have a baby.
I mean, I guess that's compromise, but like he should just hold it. I feel like he does a lot for Armando, I feel like.
He does, right? He just gives into
Yeah.
everything. Armando, he's a strong force. He seems like
Yeah.
kind of like a quiet, but you could tell that he's like a strong force.
And Kenny, I feel like is used to taking care of people, right? And he does a lot to like not upset Armando. Like he said, like, "Oh, I'm struggling with this, but I don't bring it up," or like, "I think this, but I don't want to say because I don't want to upset Armando," right? But I think he needs to stick up for himself in this time because like, this is his time to rest and relax. He has his trophy husband, 30 years younger husband, Armando. Like, just like kick it. Isn't Hannah enough?
Right.
Right? So, I mean, he deserves to rest, and I think he should stick up for his what is twilight years,
Poor guy. Doesn't
right?
look like it, but it's true.
It is true. I wish I looked as good as Kenny.
Me too, right now at this age, at
But yeah,
Armando's age.
that's pretty much it for them.
Yeah, I really think that he deserves to just have a good life with Armando, where they go out to eat and they go on vacation and they travel Mexico and they take Hannah places and shower her with love and spoil her. Like, why do you need a
Mhm.
whole other baby in there? Oh man, I really hope they don't do that.
Do like Mexicans, is that part of the culture? Like they want to have a lot of kids?
I mean, I think stereotypically that is the one thing.
Well, I know like since we talked about Steven and Alina, like I know Mormons, like they like to have a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Like it's part of their culture. Like they kind of celebrate that. I don't know if the same with Mexicans. Maybe that's why he wants another one.
I think it is. Like they like to have big families.
Yeah.
Like in the Latin culture, you know, that's something
Yeah.
they like. I mean, but also I think it is normal to want to have more than one kid because he only
Hmm.
has Hannah. So I think that's normal to want to have more than one kid. But then at the same time, you have to consider your partner and his age and everything he's gone through and raising three kids by himself and then Hannah
Four.
now. And then
it
now
was it was
it was four kids.
it was four quadtuplets at the
Oh
same
my
time.
goodness. Oh my God. Good Lord. And he's still nice and not jaded. Like, how does he do? He needs to write a parenting book. Okay. I would read it. Or like a meditation podcast. I would listen to it
How did he survive? Four
and
kids at the
not
same
be
time
bitter. Yeah.
as a single parent too.
Wow. That's impressive. That's a gem
Yeah.
right there. Armando, you need to hold on to that.
Yeah. Let him rest.
I know.
He's weary. He's weary right now.
Okay, let's do okay, let's move on to another big story. I want to get this, let's get these out there. Okay, the big stories. Jenny and Sumit. Okay, so they go see that therapist, like the family counselor with his parents too. And the counselor basically asks them, okay, what's the biggest problem? And they bring up Jenny's age a lot. So she's like, okay, well, age, okay, it is a big thing, but you can't change that. And the mom is expressing her feelings without being angry. She says she's sad and she cares for him and she cares for Sumit and she just wonders, what is he going to do? The dad turns to Sumit and says, okay, Jenny, I'm worried about you. Let's say after 10 or 15 years, you guys don't get along. You guys aren't together anymore. What will happen to you? And then Jenny basically says, I don't need anybody else. I won't, you know, need anyone after Sumit.
Mhm.
Do you think she understood like what he was trying to say?
I think she's understood, but I don't understand like what he's trying to get at.
As in, like, who will take care of her? Like, if she's like 80 or 90 years old and she's in this foreign country by herself.
But she's gonna have that problem like no matter what. Like she can break up with anybody, even somebody her age. Like that's like a risk like you take no matter what. I guess you're right about being in a different country, but she could just go back to America.
Yeah, I guess she could go back to America. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So I guess, right. Maybe she'll just have to pack up and go back to America at 90.
I mean, do you really think he's concerned about Jenny?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he don't give a crap about Jenny.
Right. And then they ask, well, what about Sumit? He's only going to be he's going to be 50 years old. And then he's like, well, that's not old. He can still get married again. And they say that that's a very rare in India for you to get married at such an old age. And that the reason that they don't have old homes in India is because they live as joint families. And the best person to take care of the husband in his old age is the wife.
I mean, does that mean that like there are no single people, older people in India?
I
I doubt that.
know. That's true. Like there's no like 50-year-old looking to get married. That doesn't seem that old.
Yeah, I'm sure they just like maybe it's not like super common, but it's probably not like that rare either. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like they'll just say anything. Like apparently she wasn't mad, the mom, but to me she looked pissed. To me she looked really angry.
Yeah. She did. But then this like whole thing of her solution, I don't know where it came from. So she says that she wants to make sure that Jenny's is going to be a good Indian wife and follow
Mhm.
Indian culture and learn things about Indian to be an Indian wife. And the solution to all of their problems is if she moves in with them
Mhm.
and teaches this to Jenny.
That
And
was the mediator's solution.
no, that wasn't the mediator didn't come up with that. That was a
Oh, okay,
mom.
that was the mom. Okay.
Yeah.
I think yeah. Well, Jenny said like she like in the next scene where she just thinks that the mom wants to come in and split them up and cause trouble, and that's what I think.
I
I
think
mean,
so too.
yeah, I think I mean they're just trying to get Sumit to fit into the typical Indian culture, even though it didn't. He already tried once, and they're trying to do everything they can to get him to fit inside because like it affects them. It affects how they think like if he's going to be okay. Like I get that, but I don't think that they actually still want Jenny to come in and try and make her fit. I feel like they're just trying to get her to go away.
On one hand, I could kind of I understand Sumit's family and how they want him to fit this mold. But given the fact that he already tried, he did try. He tried. He married that lady that they wanted.
Mhm.
He tried to be happy in that life. And then they had to go through all this trouble to get a divorce. He still couldn't get Jenny out of his mind. They went through all this trouble. The mom just might as well throw her hands up in the air and just accept it.
No, she's not going to do that because he had that argument of like, I've already done my whole life, done everything that you asked. And then she was quick. She was like, did I ask you to find Jenny when you were 20 or something, whatever? It's like the one thing that he's trying to be happy with. She's like, that means that he hasn't been trying to do everything that they wanted him to do his whole life. That's messed up.
That's like some extreme mommy son issues right there.
Yeah, she's trying to control like with an iron fist. And maybe that's what it's typical for Indian culture. Like you gotta do what the parents say. But I mean, I feel like you need to compromise if your kid is like you see your kid suffering.
Do you think that she's like this with the younger brother too? Like, is she as crazy and controlling? Like, would she be that way with him too? Or is this like
Probably,
a
but
submit thing?
I think but the younger brother is doing everything that she wants. So
True.
I feel like it's probably the same for both. It's just the younger brother is obeying her wishes.
Okay. Yeah, that's possible. I think she may have some closer relationship with Sumit though. She's all like, they ask her, the producer asked the mom, like, "Oh, how did this idea come to you about moving in with them?" And she's like, "Well, I have this attachment to Sumit, and Sumit has an attachment to me, and we will absolutely never let him go." I'm like, "Really? Oh my god."
That was yeah. I thought didn't they have like a strained relationship where they didn't talk for a while?
The mom and Sumit.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I think after Jenny like came into the picture.
yeah. So I think I mean I was surprised because I thought that eventually like if they don't come to a reconciliation, like they were just going to be estranged, but apparently
Right.
not.
I know. That's why I was like really shocked by this suggestion by the mom. And at first I think of it positively. I still kind of have hopes for it. I still do because you know how they say sometimes Like even with like different cultures, like here in America, how there's discrimination and a lot of hatred, and it's because there's not a lot of exposure and communication between the two cultures, like
Mhm.
here in America. And like the more you expose each other, the more you talk and communicate and expose them to your culture and your life, the more understanding they have towards it and the less hate there is between them.
Mhm.
So I feel like that could happen here. Like maybe the more Sumit's mom is exposed to Jenny, at least it's like kind of giving her a chance somewhat.
I mean, I doubt that because I feel like it's more neutral here in America, or at least like the resistant culture is in America. And so they're more surrounded by the differences in the culture. Like maybe they're kind of insular, like they have their friends or they have like their work where they're surrounded by their people who are like them. But you can see on TV that, it's different. So the kids are different. People they go to school with are different. But in India, Sumit's mom is just surrounded by her own culture and their own standards. I feel like it's gonna really make them like be resistant to change. Like I feel like this struggle that she has is like a struggle of like her standing within Indian culture. You know what I mean? Like she's gonna be the one of her friends that's gonna be like looked down on because of her kid. And that's gonna make her not want to change. That's what I think.
Oh man, that's crazy. I mean, but what are you gonna do? Lose your son? Like Sumit said he wanted to kill himself when he was married to that other lady and living that life.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I hope not, but I feel like sometimes people they just don't see it, until it gets to that point. You know what I mean? Like they just don't
Yeah.
see it. I just feel so sorry for Jenny in this whole situation.
I do actually, yeah.
She
Good
had to sit,
point.
yeah, she had to sit there and be alienated, stuck in a room where you don't understand the language, but people are talking about you. That's messed up. And then like the solution is for her to come in and mess up your life. Like, and it's like I agree. Like on the next one, what they were talking about, like Sumit is asking even more for Jenny, and Jenny is just sacrificing and sacrificing. It's like, I mean, I like Sumit, but I feel like he's crossing the line like over too much. He's another one of those people who like wants to have his cake and eat it too.
I agree.
He wants to get everything like that he has, like that he can.
Yes. Is he like, but do you think he's maliciously doing it or do you think he's just like a dreamer?
I think he's a dreamer. I think he's not doing it maliciously. It's a big thing to lose your family. Um, but you have to think about like how that chasing that is costing other people, not just you. Like he's actively hurting Jenny, the person that he wants to be with. So you need to think about her too. I feel like right now he's just like doing damage control constantly. And he's not thinking about Jenny's overall well-being.
I agree. And Jenny says, so basically what happens is on the next scene, they go to a monkey temple and Jenny almost gets attacked by the monkeys, but
Yeah.
she tells him like, yeah, that he's expecting a lot from her and that like, what is Sumit, you know, doing really? And that she doesn't really think this going to a counselor and all that is going to help because he's never going to marry her and he's not going to seal the deal and do what he said he's going to do like 10 years now. And I feel for Jenny, but also if it's true that she's been waiting all this time, she should just leave. She should cut the cord, like force him to
Yeah.
make that decision. I can't believe, do you know how frustrating that would be for Jenny? I mean, I feel for her like all these years. And he's like, he said 1,000 different ways about how he's like not going to marry her, but is trying to keep her on the line.
Yeah.
I will marry you when um the sun and the sky meet the moon and and then like the next thing, yes, I will marry you, but first we have to go see an astrologer. Okay, no, that didn't work out. Okay, I will marry you, but first we have to go to the temple and see if you can, it's like one thing after the next. And she's like
Yeah.
trying to meet all of those things and it never happens.
Hmm.
Now it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I will marry you, but my parents have to move in with us and take over
Yeah.
your life.
I feel like he would marry her if his parents agreed, but his parents will never agree, so he's never gonna marry her. That's what I feel like ultimately is gonna happen.
Mm.
And I just hope Jenny like wises up. Like I don't know if she will. I doubt it because it's been so long, but she's already getting older. I feel like I really hope that she does, you know?
Yeah, she either accepts that he's never going to marry her because his family will never accept, or she moves on.
Hmm.
But then if he never marries her, then she will like always have to leave the country every 6 months. So what is she going to do like at 90 or something? She's going to be like taking train rides to another country,
Exactly. I don't know. That's
to
messed up.
Nepal.
Yeah. You know, I think the problem that she's dealing with is like what they call the sunk cost fallacy. Like you've already sunk so much time into it, like you don't want to let it go because you think it could still happen. And if you do let it go, it'll make all that time you waited for worth it. And if you don't let it go, then it means all that time you put into it is a waste.
Waste, right?
Yeah, but what she's not thinking is that like the time she has left is limited, and so she needs to think about like that time, like the time that she could be doing something else or finding somebody else, you know?
Or just accept that he's not going to marry you and that you're okay with it.
But I feel like, I mean, that's true. Yeah, she could accept that. But then, I mean, there's really no reason why he shouldn't be able to. Like, it's like they're going to have kids. You know what I mean?
Well, he can't because his parents, he's going
I
to
mean, yeah,
piss him
that's the
off.
big thing. But like,
Hmm.
I guess if it wasn't for that, there's really no reason why.
Well, that is what he says the main thing is.
Yeah. I don't know. Poor Jenny. Escape now.
Yes.
Run away, Jenny.
Right.
Find somebody else. Find another man.
Okay, and then on the next on, Sumit basically says that he misses his parents and then being far away is hard for him. And Jenny's like, wait, what? Wait, are you really saying that? Because my family is in a whole other country and you could just like go visit yours, 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
Sumit, he's so do you think I think he's missing marbles or or he's really just so clueless. I don't
I think
know.
he's clueless because he's like his mom used to do everything for him.
Yeah, yes, yes. That is so frustrating. Why? You know what? Jenny deserves everything that she's going through and submit. She knew that this was him and she's still with him. So,
Yeah. After he did all that catfishing too.
yep. Good luck to her.
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point, it's like you start feeling bad for the victim when they are asking for it
Yeah,
and
when
they
you see them
know.
making their bed.
Exactly. Yeah. Come on, man.
All right, that's all for them.
All
Okay.
right. Let's move on to our
Another heavy
most
hitter.
another heavy hitter, our most hated, our the juiciness of this. It's always juicy when there's like a possible breakup. So let's go on to Corey and Evelyn, or as you like to call
Ah,
the witch.
the witch.
So this first comes like we first meet up with Corey. He goes to see Jenny and he provides her with like, you know, the ultimate closure. So basically he meets her at some random place. He doesn't tell Evelyn where he's going. He just goes off and meets Jenny. And first off, we see him speak like more Spanish, and it's really bad.
Yeah, but a
uh,
lot better than I thought it would be. I was like,
yeah, it's like
man.
at least he tried. And then we find out that Jenny really only speaks Spanish as well. It's like, how did they have this whirlwind romance? You know? But anyway,
Mm.
um, so basically he says he for sure wants to end it with Jenny, like on a like be very clear and just basically I guess make up for ghosting her, which is like, you know, this is messed up. And then you find out that he actually never told her that he was still married. It's just double
Mm.
messed up, which is like, I mean, I feel bad for Corey for being with Evelyn, but Corey is doing some bad things here to people, and it's not good.
No, wait. I think he told her after they were dating for like 2 months.
Yeah, but then like that's like during their interview, she said like I would never have wanted to be with somebody if I knew I was a third party. You know
Well,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, right, right. Yeah, I mean, he told her like after she already got attached to him and everything.
Yeah, which is like, yeah, that's messed up. It's like
Yeah,
it's making somebody a party to like adultery when they don't know about it. Like that's
right.
I feel like that's a really bad position to put somebody in because it
Right.
also applies a label to you, like you're a homewrecker. You know what I mean?
And yeah, they keep calling her the Peruvian whore or something, and maybe
And she
that's
didn't know.
now
She's
she didn't
innocent.
know this whole time.
Yeah. So like for him to put her that way, it's like that's really wrong.
Hmm.
Um, and they do like a whole Google Translate thing so they could talk to each other, which I guess is interesting. I guess they did it during the whole 2 months. But then like the thing that's interesting to me is like the way that Jenny describes a romance is like, oh my God, it's like it's beautiful. It was something real. And even Corey said it was real. We had a real connection. And I was like, oh, that's I mean, for me, I mean that sounds nice. Doesn't it sound nice to have like a go to a foreign country and have like a whirlwind fleeing romance like with somebody
Yes.
for a few months, right? I mean, he lied to get it, but it was still like it just I don't know, it just seems really nice, to have this like beautiful fling.
I mean, and then but it's like something that you could make possible if you just if you just clean up behind you, if you would have just
Yeah,
left Evelyn totally and divorce her, whatever it is that he had to do, he
yeah.
could continue that beautiful romance.
Well, maybe they still can because he did hug Jenny goodbye and left on good terms. It seems.
Oh, I was thinking like he should have talked to Evelyn first and then talked to Jenny.
Oh yeah, keep his options open.
Right. Because then it'd be like, listen, Jenny, it's over between me and her. I still love you. Which is messed
Well,
up anyway,
yeah,
too.
I know.
But
Like that would show him as to be a real scumbag.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess it shows that he really wants to be with Evelyn. But anyway, so we in the next scene we see Corey and Evelyn walking their dog, and they go off to some place to talk, and then Corey just basically lets the news go that he wasn't truthful as he was before. He didn't say that the whole story about how serious it was with Jenny. And then he tells her the truth. And then shit hits the fan and Evelyn just goes crazy. And she says all these things. She's crying. And Corey says, for Evelyn to cry, because she's not really a crier, which seems to be the case to me. She seems like somebody with a hard exterior. For her to cry and be heartbroken, and it seems like he really hurt her, you know? And I think the biggest thing was that he lied. He lied about that was what was messed up. Like he lied about it. He sweared on his mom or his dead dad that
That's a
nothing,
great, oh my
yeah, that
gosh.
he couldn't get it up, that nothing happened between them. And then he broke her walls down. And then after he did that, when they're about to get married, that's when he told her the truth and it broke her heart. Like that's even though we hate Evelyn, that's what made me feel bad for her because that's messed up. Like for real. Like you should have told her the truth from the beginning, even if you were scared. Like I feel like Corey operates on fear to get what he wants. Like if
Mm,
he's afraid to be truthful for the person's reaction, so he'll just lie to get what he
right.
wants, and that's like super messed up. And it's like really, it's messed up what he did to Evelyn to lie about
Still don't care about Evelyn. She deserves everything.
it. I mean, I feel bad for her, but at the same time, not that bad because what she said when she was crying in her separate interview, where she was like, like, I think maybe if this guy he's real, I think like if he goes off and like is so truthful for me, like is still faithful to me, doesn't do anything, that means he's real. It's like that's stupid. Why are you testing him? You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
Like you told him all that shit. Like I never want to see you again. This is over. Get out of Ecuador. Never come back here. And like he goes up with somebody else. Like that's your fault. Like you did that. That's messed up. Like I don't feel bad for what he actually did.
Mm,
What I just don't feel bad about him lying about it and coming
right.
back. You know what I mean? That's what I feel bad about.
I mean, but I'm sure like I understand his fear too because she's not the most nicest person that you'd want to come back and tell the truth to.
Yeah,
But
but
it
like,
was yeah.
sorry, go no, go ahead.
But but he should have just said it. He already said half of it. Just complete the story. Just complete
Yeah,
it, okay?
don't swear on your dead
And
dad.
that one, that's really bad. If you really did that, that's terrible. That's
Yeah,
really
that's super messed up, and it's just like because exactly what you said. Like, how could you ever trust him? Because he already sweared on his like that's like the worst thing you could do. He swore on his dead dad, and it was a lie. There's no coming back from that. Absolutely no way. Which I'm happy for because like we hate them both, so they should not be together.
yes. I mean, why do we hate Corey again?
Like he ghosted Jenny and lied to her, and then he lied to Evelyn.
Well, okay, yeah, yeah. He's like he's also one that doesn't have all his marbles. Like I don't know if he's totally malicious. Like
That's
when
right.
you
It's not malicious. I think. I don't think.
yes, he's just like kind of makes really bad decision is dumb.
Like he's always trying to just cover his own ass, like
Cover his ass,
people,
yeah.
so people are not mad at him. That's what it
Right,
is.
right.
Yeah,
Which is also super annoying. I hate that quality. Like, oh,
yeah,
it's like a really annoying quality. And it's not an excuse. Like you're just right, right. Like, do you really feel bad or like you just don't want to get in trouble? You know?
yeah.
So maybe when Evelyn was like crying and like saying that you don't really feel bad about what you I don't even think you really feel bad. I'm like, that might be true. Yeah, because maybe he just doesn't want to be in trouble. He
Mm.
says whatever he has to say, yeah, for somebody not to be mad at him. But inside but I don't know. I do think he feels bad about this though. What do you think?
I do think he feels bad because he didn't want to make it work with Evelyn.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like, and he does feel bad. He says, it's the worst feeling to make somebody feel that bad. And you could tell Evelyn really was like, I feel like her pain was real. I feel like
I know. It
it
was
wasn't fake.
surprising.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree. I wanted to say that it's fake, but it did look really real.
yeah. Even though she doesn't even really like, she barely likes Corey. I feel like the fact that she did let him in, I feel like it's a loss of pride. It's like being made to feel like a fool. Like all of that is like what's really pissing her off, you know?
Right. Because she said, she's like, there I was believing that you love me so much you couldn't even get it up for another girl. And then now I know it wasn't true.
No, it was all fake. It was a lie. It was a trap.
And he's like, well, you said that we could be with other people. Like you said we can. And she's like, yes, but you lied about it.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Don't lie. Like just say who
Oh
you are.
man.
If it doesn't work out, like find somebody else. There's millions of people out here. You know what I mean? Just don't I just don't like the lying. That's the biggest thing. Don't lie about
Right.
it. Steven.
Exactly. I feel like maybe that's like a lesson that they have to learn. But although Corey is pretty old, you should have learned this lesson already.
Yeah.
Um, but also like they're like in a really toxic relationship, and he can't see his way at the moment. Like he can't see how toxic it is right now. But
Hmm.
it is best for them to go their own ways. Do you think they will break up?
I think they will break up.
I
I
hope
mean,
so.
given what you said, our spoiler
Oh yeah,
alerts.
spoilers.
Spoilers,
Yeah.
sorry, spoilers.
Right. Yes.
It seems like they're completely separate now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think ultimately this is good for them. This is really good. They've had too much water in the under the bridge. They just had so much crap that they just can't put it under the bridge anymore.
Yeah, like
There's
there's
like
no
just
coming
so
back.
much. Yes, there's so many issues that there is no coming back.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta call it quits, and clearly
Yes.
they need to call it quits. So, I mean, I'm interested to see what's gonna happen on the next time for them. But I mean, we know it's not gonna come back, so it's all gonna be negative, which is good. I feel like that's more satisfying than like a wishy-washy. Will they? Won't they?
Right. I hope it does turn out to be something that really happens and not the wishy-washy, like a
Hmm.
definitive decision.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do Ari and Benny. There wasn't too much, except that Ari is heading to the airport, and then she asked Biniyam if he's hiding her passport because I guess he hid it the night before when they argued.
Yeah.
But he didn't. And they head to the oh no, wait, I can't forget this part. Ari starts speaking to him in his language, and she says she has a gift for him. And then he's like, "Oh, what's your gift?" And he's super bashful and cute when he says it. I was like, "Oh, look
Hmm.
at him. He likes gifts."
Yeah.
And then it turns out that it's a ring and it says like forever family inscripted on it. And they kiss and they have a cute moment. They head to the airport and they say goodbye.
Hmm.
And Benny says, it reminds him a lot of losing his first family, but it is what it is.
I mean,
And
at least, I mean, I feel like they gave us some of the impression that he was kind of like a deadbeat, like he was like going off and like partying and not spending time with his family. But from what I could see, like he really misses his first son, and like his pain seemed really real. Like this this storyline was like for me, it was like it was a bit too real. Like this is sad. This is really sad.
oh, okay.
Like
Oh,
his
I know.
all his crying was like, damn, that's messed up.
Yeah. He
Could you
did do some
imagine?
hard crying.
Yeah, could you imagine like his like if Ari stays in America, like that happened to him twice, like two kids taken away from him. Like, and if he really cares as much as he does, like as much as it seems, I mean, then it's gonna like he's gonna that's gonna break him, man. He's gonna go crazy, like his sister said.
But this is what I don't understand. Like, when he talked about his first family and how much it hurt him that he can't see his son, it's been 2 years, and he cried really hard, right? He looked like he was really in pain.
Hmm.
Why would you then marry another American girl?
Well, maybe it's just like, what are the odds? What do we think? What are the odds?
What do you mean? It's like you just had this terrible experience, and then like,
Yeah, well, like if you have like a bad experience with an Ethiopian man, and another Ethiopian man comes in your way, are you going to be like, no, all Ethiopian men are bad?
well, I mean that's different because um okay, it's like being in America and like a British guy or something. And yeah, I had a bad experience with like some guy from Britain. Like he left with my son or whatever, and he went to
Yeah,
Europe. And then like there's all these other Americans, like like how many Americans or whatever all around me. And I'm scared of like, this potentially happening again. And I'm gonna find that one other British guy. That I mean I couldn't okay, I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's like generalizing, but at the same time, it's like just like if it hurts you so bad and there's so many other good looking Ethiopians around
yeah,
that will
that's
have
true.
a good family for you, that you'll be there and be treated, you don't have to worry about them running off to America. I mean, and it was so soon that even at the barber shop you had to say, oh, this is another American lady, not the first American. I mean, that's how close together all of this happened.
Hmm.
It's just, I don't know, like I want to believe in Benny's authenticity, but at the same time, I'm kind of like suspicious of him maybe wanting to come to America.
Well, I mean, in the beginning he didn't chase her; she found him, right?
You know
So
what? That's
that's one thing.
true.
She did. She
That's
is the one who
true.
found him and went after him.
She
If
did
he,
see him in the street and like call out to him or something.
yeah, I don't know.
But that doesn't mean you have to go off and have a whole family with them.
That's true. I agree. Yeah, that is true. And he was wary. That he's cautious the whole time. But maybe he's just like, what are the odds of this happening again? But I guess the odds are high.
The odds are great. The odds are great.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess so. I mean, it's not like I totally, I don't totally blame him, but at the same time, I do like think that you also had other options.
yeah. I mean, it's true. He did have other options.
I mean,
He
yeah,
had freaking
hindsight is
Sion.
2020. Sorry?
He had freaking Sion. Beautiful Sion.
Beautiful Sion. Come on. Like she would have gone along with his sisters perfectly fine.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. then there's nowhere for her to escape to to take their kids away, right? So
Yeah.
it would have been perfect.
That's so weird, isn't it? I don't know. I always think that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm so curious about like on the next songs that we've seen before, like why does she get mad at him, you know?
My guess is that he hasn't been keeping in contact with her. Like he's just like, like 1 week and 2 weeks and no phone call. Like if I'm away from my husband, like with our kid, we're gonna be talking every single day. If you don't talk to me every single day, there's a problem.
Hmm.
I mean, not every day. I mean, if 1 or 2 days, okay, fine. But if like a week goes by, like that's not normal.
Yeah. Especially if it's your kid is there, you know?
Yeah, and especially if he's not working. Like, are you working? Or are you just
Yeah.
hanging out with your friends?
Yeah,
Like, you
exactly.
don't have
That's
time to
true.
call me?
Yeah. Do you think ultimately she's gonna go back?
Yeah, yeah, I do think so. Oh, yeah, right, right. So we do see on the next Dawn that her parents are trying to get her to move back to America.
Hmm. And her sister said some hella or I don't know if that's her sister, but I thought it was like some hella condescending comments.
Oh, right.
It's like you had your little adventure, you put your little life there. It's like, what the hell? Bitch, who are you?
You gave birth there in Ethiopia. Now you're done doing your little stunt.
It's like I built a whole life over there, you know? It's like I don't know, that's super condescending to me.
It was like, you think I'm writing a book or something? Like a comic book?
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see. I think she's such like an adventurous person. Like she would live in Ethiopia, you know? Like why
Right,
not?
right. That's one thing I do like about Ari, even though she seems like really like kind of prissy or uptight or, what's the word? Yeah, like privileged or something. She's very open to a lot of experiences there. Like she doesn't, totally bash it or anything. Like the waterfall thing, she's like, it's really cold, but the water was pounding on my head and it actually almost felt meditative, or
Hmm.
when they went to the spa, she's just saying, oh, she basically describes what she's going through, but not in any type of disdainful way, in a very open-minded and like interested way, which I like.
Yeah. I think also she'll go back.
Their little baby is so cute. He's so
Yeah, he
cute.
is. Hopefully for Biniyam's sake, they reunite.
Yes. Let's see. Did we go through all the couples?
Uh pretty much it. Well, the next on for Ellie and Victor is just basically Ellie confronts Victor about all the cheating allegations, and she says that the woman showed her pictures and Victor looked real happy.
Oh yeah, that she could receive tons of it, and that they even talked about kids.
Yeah. Could you imagine like somebody showed you pictures of cheating significant other and they have a smile on their face? Hell no. There's no
Yeah.
way.
Right.
There's no way I could come back for that.
I
So
know.
yeah. But I think that's pretty much it for the next on.
Yes. This was a this episode had a lot. Dylan missed a lot on this episode.
Yeah, he did. But anyway, so yeah, we'll have Dylan back on next week. In the meantime, thank you to everybody who gave us a 5-star review. We really appreciate it. If you haven't left a review, please do so on every podcast app you use. It really helps us keep creating the podcast. That said, thank you, B. Anything else?
That's it. See you next week.
All right, bye.
Bye.